of honor for installing all of us today. Your constant devotion to Hadassah is something that we all admire. Thank you also to Gail Black for your friendship and for being a wonderful president and mentor to me and to many of the others on our board. And at this point, I'd like to thank our national board members as well as past region presidents who are here. And just for a moment, please, all of you who are past region presidents or national board members, just to show that we in Northern New Jersey do make a difference, please stand up. Thank you. And a special thank you to my friends and family for coming here today as I begin this journey, which, as you've heard before, I've been told is going to be the best 3 years of my life. Okay. Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America, has been very close to my heart for many years. My daughter, daughters-in-law, and granddaughter are all life members. My sons, my husband, forgot you, Neil. My husband, I didn't forget. My husband, sons, son-in-law, and grandsons are all associate members. Many people have asked me, why Hadassah? The answer is very simple. I'm a woman, I'm an American, and I'm a Zionist. And Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America, includes all of these things and defines who I am. Hadassah's vision is to strengthen a connection to Israel, with Hadassah leading the way, bringing healing and justice to the world. Our mission clearly states that Hadassah, the Women's Zionist Organization of America, is a volunteer organization that inspires a passion for, and a commitment to the land, the people, and the future of Israel. Through education, advocacy, and youth development, and in support of medical care and research at Hadassah Medical Organization, Hadassah enhances the health and the lives of the people of Israel, the United States, and the worldwide. For me, Hadassah is the vehicle that feeds my passion, which supports Israel, as well as advocating for many issues here in the United States. As was stated briefly before by Stephanie, Hadassah was founded in 1912 by Henrietta Zold at a meeting at Temple Emanuel in New York City. Henrietta Zold, together with other Zionist women, had a goal to improve the health needs of the people of Palestine and also to promote Zionism through education, public health initiatives, and training of the nurses in the area. This was the beginning of the Israeli healthcare system, which now includes 2 of the world's leading research and treatment hospitals in Ein Kerem and also on Mount Scopus, as well as schools of medicine and nursing. This small study group grew and grew, and today we are an organization of over 300,000 members. Henrietta Zoll's accomplishments have inspired so many women today. I've even heard a recent quote that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was asked who her role models were, and she answered Emma Lazarus and Henrietta Zold. In the late 1930s, Henrietta Zold and a German colleague organized the rescue of thousands of Jewish children to safety in Israel through Youth Aliyah. Today, Hadassah still helps at-risk children in Israel by supporting the 3 Youth Aliyah villages. Mea Shveya in the Carmel Mountains, firstly, was the place where a few weeks ago, right after the rockets from Gaza into Israel, children were transported to our Youth Aliyah village in the north so that they would be safe. Another Youth Aliyah village is Hadassah Neorim near Netanya, and the last Ramat Hadassah Zol in the southeast of Haifa. Here is a quote from Kirill Aref, 17 years old, who arrived in Israel in 2013 from the Ukraine. Quote, "My grandma lives in Haifa, and I'd heard so much about Israel that I wanted to come. I attended a religious school, so I knew Torah and Hebrew, and I thought it was important for me to try to live in Eretz Israel. My home situation wasn't ideal. My parents divorced, and my father remarried. Suddenly, I had a new brother. It felt right to leave for Israel. I took the test and came to live and study at Hadassah Nurim. This is just one of the testimonials of many success stories and how we have an impact on the students in our youth villages. I'd like now to explain and share a few stories which help explain and answer the question which people have asked me, why Hadassah? Hadassah was nominated in 2005 for a Nobel Peace Prize. Why, many people have asked, why Hadassah was nominated? Well, our hospital reaches patients from all over the world, and since its founding, has always lived with a philosophy called Bridges to Peace. This means there is no discrimination based on gender or political or religious ideology. When you walk through the hospital, you can see many different ethnic groups. For example, you could see a Franciscan priest, or a young woman in a miniskirt, or an Arab sheik, all sitting in the waiting room, waiting to have care at Hadassah Hospital. Besides the patient diversity, there's also diversity in staff. During my last trip to Israel, I noticed a large painting filled with many, many, many different handprints. It was on a wall. Probably not many people really see this painting, but it really left a tremendous impact upon me. These handprints were handprints of many of the staff, of the nurses, of the doctors. There were Arabs, there were Christians, there were people from all over the world, Jews and non-Jews. And this showed together how they're all working together. And it just reminded me of the Hebrew phrase, Hine ma tov l'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad, and how good it is for brothers and sisters to sit together. And here, this is another example why we bring Bridges to Peace. One of my favorite stories that I've heard about Hadassah is about Davir. Now, Davir is now in his 30s, and some of you might have met with him. He currently works at Hadassah Hospital. I met him at the hospital many years ago when I was on a mission, Hadassah mission. He told his story, and here it is. When he was 12 years old, he was on a school trip. He and his class were told to get off the bus, but to stay close together with the teachers. Unfortunately, Davir wandered a little bit off from his classmates, and unfortunately, he walked into an active mine, and it went off. He was in critical condition and was transferred to Hadassah Hospital. He was eventually discharged, but spent many years in and out of the hospital. He survived this horrible accident, but it left him with a great deal of pain and also walking with a cane. Now, let's flash forward a little bit. Davir began working at Hadassah Hospital, and he would often share his stories with the many visitors that would come to see or to tour the hospital. And he would be so proud to say that this is the hospital he works at, but more importantly, this is the hospital that saved his life. And unfortunately for Davir, his pain never went away, and it kept getting worse and worse. He unfortunately had shrapnel from the mine in his leg after the explosion, and the doctors were unable to remove it safely. Now, let's fast forward again. Last July, at Hadassah's National Convention in New York, I again saw Davir at a dinner, and this time he was with Dr. Mahdi El-Haj, a peripheral nerve surgeon from Hadassah Hospital. Dr. El-Haj attended the Hadassah Medical School and was also trained at Hadassah Hospital. His wife is a nurse, and she too worked at Hadassah Hospital. By the sound of his name, Dr. El-Haj, you know, is not Jewish, but an Arab, an Israeli Arab. Both of them had known Devere since he was very young because of his multiple admissions and surgeries over the years. Following his residency, Dr. El-Haj attended Washington University in St. Louis for a fellowship in peripheral nerve surgery. Dr. El-Haj began his talk at the dinner with the following dedication. Now I want to make this as a quote. "My work and teaching are dedicated to the memory of the unknown subject portrayed in Ed Tresser's painting from the Pernkopf Atlas and other possible victims portrayed in the atlas." Now, where does this all get together with where I'm going? Who was Pernkopf? And what was this atlas? Edward Pernkopf was an Austrian professor of anatomy who wrote a 7-volume anatomical atlas with the help of 4 artists by dissecting the bodies of Nazi political prisoners, many of whom were Jews. And now, how does this all connect with Devere? Dr. El-Haj returned to Hadassah Hospital following his fellowship and was aware of Devere and his increased pain. Dr. El-Haj thought he could help Devere, but he had an ethical dilemma about using this information he obtained from the atlas. It was obtained by doing atrocities on Jewish people. He consulted with Devere as well as with rabbis, and Devere and his family agreed that Pekuach Nefesh, the preservation of human life, overrides everything. This atlas and the pictures were opened while the surgery was performed. Devere had his surgery, and in fact, it was performed on Dr. El-Haj's birthday. Following the surgery, Dr. El-Haj called his wife and said he wouldn't be able to be coming home that night because he wanted to stay in the hospital and be close to Devere. She understood. She had been Devere's nurse many years ago during previous admissions. Devere woke up from his surgery pain-free, probably the first time in over 20 years. Devere attended the National Convention accompanied by his mother. There again, he thanked Dr. El-Haj and Hadassah. In appreciation to Hadassah, Devere made his mother a life member of Hadassah. There wasn't a dry eye in the room during this presentation, and it gives me a sense of pride to retell this story again and again, and it's one of my answers to why Hadassah. We in Hadassah have taken action here in the United States on a wide range of policy issues important to women and also important to the entire Jewish community. We have met with our government officials in the United States Senate, from the Senate, Congress, as well as local officials in their New Jersey offices. We are proud that we have urged our elected officials to pass crucial bipartisan legislation to strengthen Israel's security, supporting women's health equity, and promoting women's health and well-being, and also combating anti-Semitism. On October 30th, 2019, Hadassah hosted a special event on Capitol Hill to educate and to advocate in favor of the Never Again Education Act. Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada, the lead sponsor of the Senate bill, and House of Representatives lead sponsor, Salud Carvajal of California, were both at this event. This act, which currently has over 300 co-sponsors in the House and over 20 in the Senate, would establish a fund in the United States Department of Education to finance grants for public and private middle and high schools to help teachers develop and improve Holocaust education programs. Again, why Hadassah? This answer is simple. Hadassah has played a key role with the introduction of this bill in Congress and is currently advocating to get this important act passed. I could go on and on and on. My vision is to get more people involved with Hadassah. I agree with what Henrietta Zoll said many years ago. If we are Zionists, what good is it just to sit around and drink tea? Yes, we are Hadassah, the power of women who do. And as Ellen Hirschkin, our current president, said, I cannot build a medical institution by myself, but kulanu biyachad, all of us together we can. Together with my region board and the members of our many chapters in northern New Jersey, 2020 will be a year of perfect vision. We are working together in Hadassah, and in doing so, building a healthier, safer, and more equitable world. Again, thank you all for coming today and for your friendship and support. And I will conclude with a special thank you to my husband, Neil, for his encouragement, his love and support, and also sharing with me my special love of Hadassah and of Israel.